morning, everyone, and welcome to a fresh edition of ESPN FC Live here on YouTube. Alexis Nunes here, rocking out with Janusz Mihalik. Before I could even have a cup of tea this morning, Janusz, Chelsea went and got 3 points. It was a West London derby as the early kickoff in the Premier League this fine Saturday. Chelsea up against Fulham, the world champions Chelsea up against Fulham. And Janusz, in a game that, if we look at it on paper, Chelsea win 2-0. This was expected, I think, from many. Expected Fulham to put up a fight, but eventually Chelsea came through. However, it was anything but a straightforward win. I just saw a comment that someone said that Fulham's doctor might want to treat Marco Silva to calm him down at the full-time whistle, because there's a lot to talk about. Once again, we're not necessarily talking about how Chelsea got it done, which we will in a bit. But we're talking about VAR, Janusz.
Yeah, I don't know about VAR. We're talking about Rob Jones. I'm glad this game gave us something, because otherwise it was a non-event. We'll get to Fulham, and I can understand the frustration, but I mean, they hardly did anything. And if the decision went their way, it's still no guarantee that Fulham would have seen that through, right? But first things first, black mark on Rob Jones. I'm gonna put it on him, because look, I mean, a criminal decision, by the way. It was not clear and obvious. The referee had a very, very good look, and I'm not putting this on VAR in a way because it was a goal, right? So they're going to look at it anyway. They look at every goal. This was a chance for Rob Jones to go back after seeing this and understand that this was not a careless challenge. Not at all, right? It was a skill. It was a wonderful thing. I think Chalobah is going for the ball. He has the right to go for that. But if he's not stomped on, right, I think Muniz did a tremendous job in that swivel to protect the ball. He's not getting to it anyway, so he's got to put his foot somewhere. Laws of the game give you a lot of leeway, Alexis, in their interpretation, and I think Rob Jones missed a tremendous opportunity here, because obviously it wasn't careless in any way. It was a good skill, was absolutely accidental, and Fulham should have gone on, and Josh King should have had his first goal, right? And from then on, we would have had a different conversation. We would see if the quality of Chelsea, which is much better than Fulham at home, would have been enough. But yeah, this is, everybody's going to try to justify this in this decision, to parse the laws of the game, to make it somehow that this was good. But it really is a black mark on the referees. And I hope they're not going to try to justify this decision in any way. I mean, in fact, there should be an apology, if anything else, because, it just, that's the way how I feel about this.
Yeah, it was a crucial moment in the game. It's such a shame that we've gone live right at the full-time whistle, because I am absolutely waiting to make a cup of tea and sit down to hear Marco Silva's post-match press conference. I'm pretty sure it's going to be fiery. But at this point, if you're Marco Silva, what are you thinking? What can he do?
He's going to complain about that, right? He understands that, he's done a tremendous job. He's got a decent team. I mean, obviously just 2 points out of 3 matches, 2 draws, an important one, of course, against Manchester United, and the 2 draws, so, fair play. But I think, Marco Silva, as always, will talk about how thin his squad is, and quality it is. I think they do a tremendous job with that last season. I don't see this season being any different. It's going to be because of the quality that they already have, right? And Marco Silva, that they're probably going to be saved. But here, let's be honest here. I mean, Chelsea, without really being at their absolute best, right? I mean, it was low energy, still easily won this game. So I think Marco Silva, once he gets past that, decision, he's got to look at his team and say, we haven't had one chance. I mean, towards the end, I understand that set piece in stoppage time, right? The header that was, I believe, stopped by João Pedro, pretty much on the line. I mean, they had nothing in this game. So decisions are terrible, but you expect your team to kind of, forget them and go on and play football. And they didn't do much in this game. And Chelsea deserved. They took the chances that they had.
Yeah, Chelsea definitely deserving winners. You will feel for 18-year-old Josh King, though, for
Yeah.
sure, for that disallowed goal. But I'm sure, hopefully, he has plenty more in his career that helps him forget today. But as you said, Chelsea have become a tough nut to crack. They are deserving winners today. They, I think, are unbeaten in 2025 at Stamford Bridge. They only have about 3 draws, and that is being their worst results there. They've kept 7 clean sheets at Stamford Bridge. So we knew that Fulham were up against it when they went there. So let's talk about the positives then that Chelsea did right.
Well, the positive is just general a very good start, right? I mean, of course, they had a game at home to start with Crystal Palace. That's always difficult, and a trophy winning Crystal Palace. But they'll look at it as probably 2 points drop. But as I said, 2 wins and a draw. It's a very, very good start. And we talk. There's been a lot of negativity about Chelsea, and maybe rightfully so over the years. But I think they're showing they went from chaos to stability and actually showing leadership. The very things that we complain about, right? Remember last season, a terrible start on and off the pitch, the Chelsea, the size of the squad. What are they going to do? I mean, what is Chelsea doing? The very things, the negative things that we've talked about, I think now Chelsea are showing that actually they're more stable than most of the teams, right? Because you're talking about a team that last year was terrible at the start. We never thought they were going to be in the top 4. They made the top 4. They won the Conference League, and that's something, okay, not something that Chelsea want, but they were able to rotate and let young players play in that, and they've won it. They won the Club World Cup. They bought and spent a lot of money, but they sold for a lot of money. And let's forget, everybody else is spending money. So it's not just a Chelsea problem, because when we look at what Liverpool has done and is still going to do, most likely with Isak, if you look at Arsenal, who has had a wonderful transfer window, but spent tons of money. I look at Newcastle with Nick Votemand, spending crazy money. I think you have to look at Chelsea and say, there was a method to this madness, maybe. And here we are, looking at Chelsea, at a club that's rebuilding themselves in a positive way. If you look at progress from where they've been after Abramovich, and we pretty much all gave up on it and talked about the craziness of the ownership because they're part club, part trading company. Well, that's reality of football right now. And perhaps they are showing the way. Are they there? No. Are they a team that's going to challenge for the title? I doubt it. It became a little bit complicated for them right now with Liam Delap, that early injury, right? You look at Cole Palmer, who's injured as well. I think international window may help with those two, because Levi Colwill, another injury, probably not. But I think Chelsea are progressing a little. There's a process, there's a progress. We hear that from Arsenal. I think Arsenal is towards the end of that. We're looking for the end product right now. Chelsea, I think we're close to that, but I think it'll be a big ask still for Chelsea to win the Premier League.
Yeah, well, there you go. Chelsea went from being the butt of certain jokes to making people look like jokes. So big up to Chelsea fans. I'm sure they will be enjoying that. But 2 things that I like about Chelsea as well are the 2 goal scorers that we saw today. Enzo Fernandez, the 2 South Americans for Argentina. Of course, his one was a penalty, but calm, cool, collected penalty in what was already feeling like a high-pressure game. And then Joao Pedro, Janusz, he just seems to be going from strength to strength. I did say that when he played for Chelsea this summer in preseason at the Club World Cup, when we saw him in action, we just said he looks like he belongs. I remember we interviewed him at the training ground in his first training session with Chelsea, and he was like, look, he knew exactly what he was coming to. He couldn't wait to get started. He just felt like he belongs. And we were like, yeah, okay, this is preseason. Wait till you step foot in the big league with the Premier League. But he's right. He really just seems like he belongs.
Yeah, no problem. Look, I mean, it's good that you're obviously familiar with the Premier League. That always helps, I think, because he's already proven that he can score goals, right? And how good he is. The Club World Cup, helped him a lot. Not just winning it, but the fact that right away he started scoring. So all of that is positive, and look at the way he starts the season as well. So that's tremendous. Enzo Fernandez, and Alexis, and maybe those that listen to me, not just Chelsea fans, know how big I've always been on Enzo Fernandez. But I expect more. Not that I'm disappointed, not that he's a bad player. He's starting to do that. Hey, by the way, he's got 2 goals already this season. But I think that output for the amount of money they spend, this is what is it? I think it's his 4th season. Apologies if I'm wrong. I think it's his 4th season. I just think that he's got to give more in terms of numbers. Now, last year, I think he had in the Premier League 6 goals and 7 assists. 6 goals is actually not all that bad for a midfield player, right? When you think about contributions from the midfield, 6 goals, none of them were penalties because Cole Palmer, I think, took them all. So that's good. 7 assists, I think there's got to be more, and maybe there is more, and maybe this is the season that's going to take him over. But I just think that that there is a lot more to Enzo Fernandez in terms of that leadership, where he runs that team a little bit more and contributes even more in terms of numbers. And I'm looking mostly, assists and all of that. So small things, since you asked, I didn't think we were going to talk about it, but I love him. But, they did spend, I don't know, 120 million euros on him, right? So if you look at over the last 4 years, that output, could be questioned. I'm sorry.
Well, as you said, it's going to be a big season for him, considering everyone has an eye on the World Cup, and he probably will be feeling the pressure to perform, considering he's part of the country that has the World Cup title, Argentina. Janusz Mihalik, thank you so much. We are now just about 12 minutes away from the next fixture. And that is Manchester United, with a lot of questions to ask up against Burnley. Normally, we wouldn't even bat an eyelash for this fixture, Janusz, but today it feels like a final for Ruben Amorim and Manchester United.
Must win already. Must win already.
Must win already. I'm saying it. We'll be here at the full-time whistle, so join us then for the post-match reaction of Man United Burnley. Dankeschön.